What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Addison Gaming Podcast, the show where we talk about the games we want whenever they came out, because that's what we're playing. We'll talk old stuff, we'll talk new stuff, we'll talk everything in between. We'll talk about whatever we want. I am your host, Wicked Gamer UK Alan, but you can call me Alan for this episode. And as always, I'm joined by my wonderful, amazing co-host. He'll take anything off for $1. The luscious magic Mike Maldonado. How are you, Mike?
Good. How are you?
I'm very, very good.
How's the UK today?
You know, it's UK and it's been pretty good. Actually, we've had some really good sunshine. So I'm getting that like little taste of like spring coming through, which is very exciting.
That is exciting. It is nice in the US, I guess.
Yeah. And where are you in the world?
I'm in San Jose. I have a flight tonight, but this is where I am today. But I'll be in the UK in 2 months, so.
Yeah, little globe-trotting hottie.
Sure.
I love it. San Jose. Funny enough, so Mike, I spent the afternoon watching 80s music videos. And I've got a few things to say about 80s music videos. First off, those motherfuckers were trying to tell a story in like 3 minutes. You know, like
Take Me On, for example.
Yeah, totally. Or Billie Jean, like it was trying to tell this story of like Michael Jackson was this like magic cat or could disappear or something. I have no idea what was going on, but like
I thought he was playing
fully
hopscotch with those colored floor panels or whatever. I was like, what are we doing?
Oh my God. Yeah. And then it's like starting off with like magic coins being flipped into like a cup and like everything turning bright. Like just so freaking stupid. But it was like the birth of it, of videos, right? So they were trying anything out. But like what made me jog my memory, do you know John Stamos?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
From Full House.
Yeah, totally. What was his character's name in Full House? Uncle
Hottie Daddy?
Hottie Boombalati. Yeah, he was really hot. I didn't like his hair back then. I have a thing with like really long, like he had like long like rocker hair. Can't do it. But anyways,
Yeah.
one of the videos came up. It was Kokomo by the Beach Boys. You know, Aruba, Jamaica, that one. Guess who's in it? John Stamos, and he's like part of the band playing drums in it.
Yeah, I've seen him do music stuff before.
Really?
Like I don't know, on some talk shows or whatever, and he's just there, and he's like, oh yeah, and then he's like on the drums or whatever. So,
So it's like it wasn't
like
even
a
just
surprise kind of thing. Like, oh, we didn't know this about you, but apparently we did. But
Wait a minute. So Full House was going full on meta with the fact that John Stamos was actually a rocker who was playing like was it Uncle Jesse? Yeah, it was Uncle Jesse. He was playing Uncle Jesse, who was out rocking around all the time, but it was literally John Stamos like playing himself.
Yes. So he was in this 80s video.
Yeah. With the Beach Boys. Like just showed up. Like, but I don't know if this was like before John Stamos was John Stamos. You know how like Courtney Cox did that video with Bruce Springsteen where she was like the girl in the front. I can't even remember the song, but like
I don't know that, but
oh yeah, look it up. Courtney Cox, one of her very first things she ever did on TV or video or anything was she was in a music video. And I think it was Bruce Springsteen who like pulled her up on stage to dance with her. Yeah, John Stamos fully showing up in the background. I was floored. But then the story of Kokomo was really nice. You go down to the beach, you hang out, you have a few drinks. Probably some problematic lyrics for nowadays, but you know, what are you going to do? It's the 80s. Can't change it all. Too funny. Did you ever watch 80s videos when you were growing up?
Mainly at the bar, like when I started growing. You know, at the bar they'd always be playing music videos, and I love video bars. So like I'll go like at JR's in Dallas, and I'll go and I'll be watching the videos. It's nonstop, like just looking at them, and that's how I've learned a lot of my music videos from the 80s. I'm more of a 90s child, I guess. I was born in the 80s, but grew up in the 90s, and then but yeah, so. But Take On Me was one of my favorites because it goes into like, the animated part with the paper drawings and whatever, and then that was really good. And I don't know what story they're trying to tell, but I like it.
Yeah, who knows? I mean,
I haven't seen it in a while, so if I watch it now, it's like I don't know. I just watch it because it's kind of just like something to watch, and it's very interesting. But kind of think about the story, and then I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone. I mean, like I say story, and I put that in like real loose like term quotes here, Mike. These weren't like really long stories, but it just felt like they were like trying to do like probably more than they should
The
have been doing,
most.
right? Yeah. Yeah. Like, oh, and don't get me started. I loved the fashion. It was all over the top and ridiculous, and just I want to be in a music video one time so I can just be the like the really sad like pouty artist that's like leaning up against a stage with the light like really low, or that like profile bit where I'm like
Yeah. A
singing
little
the lyrics, but there's
silhouettes.
like, yes, oh my gosh.
I've always wanted to be the one that's looking out the window when it's raining and singing. The car window, especially. Because
Oh, and
every time an 80s song comes on and I'm looking out the window when I'm in the backseat of a car and it's raining, I'm like, this is me,
mm-hmm,
my music video.
mm-hmm. Yeah. And when I was going back to 90s kids, if I could go back in time, I would do anything to be in like early 90s rap videos. I want to be the like white idiot in the video that's like dancing on the car or something. You know how there was always like a white dweeb in the videos? You know what I
Yes.
mean? He was like the like
Always.
quote unquote loser. I wish I
The
could
tall,
have played
skinny
that part.
one with the
Yes.
oversized button-up shirt.
I would have loved to have done that. I could have nailed that role, or just like laid on top of a car, danced on top of a car, something really stupid. Oh, such a good time for music. Such a good time. But we're not here
It
to
was
talk about
great.
music,
Great
Mike. We
memories.
are here to talk about video games. Uh First episode, Mike. We're doing it.
Finally, yes.
Yeah. I know. I think
Long time in the making. I mean, thanks to you. I'm just here like, you're like, do you want to do it? I was like, sure.
I mean, it's kind of how it happens, right? You just kind of go
Yeah.
like, "Oh, what are you
You
doing,
gotta,
Mike? You want to do a podcast?" Like,
you gotta get
why does it have
started
to be so
somewhere.
hard? Totally. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's yeah, exciting. I'm excited for the listeners to join us on this journey and join us for each episode as we talk video games. We'll talk, as I say, the old stuff. We'll talk new stuff, and really just kind of get together and have a good time and share our thoughts on stuff we're playing, right? Because we don't want to take this too seriously, but we want to have fun and be serious about our fun.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think, Addison Gaming, I think the idea just sort of came to me one day. I'm not the most clever person in the world, but it just sort of stuck with me. You know, when you get one of those ideas and you're like, okay, this is sticking around. Okay, this hasn't gone away. And you think,
Yeah.
well, there's something there. I think it's time to do something about it. I think actually, you say thanks to me, but I took the plunge when you were in London last time, or about a year ago. I think it was for your birthday. Actually, when you gave me Pikmin 4, I remember having this
Oh, yeah.
conversation with you.
I love
Um,
that game.
so good. I haven't completed it, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Yeah, because I'm going to talk about it
Backlog,
in one of the
backlog.
episodes. But I remember just kind of going like, I got to ask Mike, because if I don't say it out loud, then it's not going to be real. And then when I asked you and you're like, yeah, we got to do it, I was like, oh shit, we got to do it now. So, it is a little bit of put things out there, see what comes back. So, I'm so happy that you said yes, one, and you're
I mean,
happy to listen.
I'll take my shirt off for $1. So, like, of course I'm going to say yes. Come on now.
I mean, why not? You got to make those Benjamins. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But
Well,
when you officially like transplant over to the UK, though, you can't. You got to take your shirt off for a 5 pound note. You don't want those
for
pound coins. Those
fiber.
things hurt.
For fiber. Why not?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. So, what can you expect on for Addison Gaming? Look, we don't have like a major roadmap at the moment. We're just going to get together for each episode and talk about the stuff that we're playing, like we said. I've been going to a lot of game development meetups, and I'm really interested in hearing about that process of, how game developers come up with their ideas, how they work to kind of create their art form. So we're going to be featuring some of those people, those amazing and talented programmers and artists and designers at different points on episodes throughout the life of this podcast. So we can get a little bit more insight into the industry, hear about how games are made, give a voice to those people, right? Because a lot of times they're the ones in the shadows who don't get a lot of chance to speak about their stuff. And wherever else the wind takes us, really, we're just gonna have a lot of fun creating a community here of people who like what we do, who like hearing a bunch of yahoos and a bunch of idiots talk about their day and talk about video games. So
I love it.
one of the million video game podcasts in the world. We're gonna
But
jump
are
into
these,
that
like,
big
important?
pond.
Okay,
Yeah,
we have stuff to say.
we have voices. Don't try to shut us up because we're not going anywhere. So
Exactly.
here we go. First episode, let's dive in. So what are we going to talk about in this episode? We're going to share a little bit about ourselves, the games that we like, so you can start to get to know us as the out of sync hosts for the podcast. We are then going to talk about games we've been playing, and then we are going to go into a feature for this episode, which is going to be about the predictions that we have for Switch 2. I mean, I don't know if there's any predictions left, Mike, because basically everything's been
It's all
leaked.
been predicted, but I'm going to say what I think is to be real.
Yeah. And
So-
kind of what we want, predictions and what we're really hoping for, because
Exactly.
gosh, it's been like, can you believe it's been
It's been
how
like,
many
what,
years?
8 years?
Yeah. That's coconuts. Like it feels like it just came
It
out.
came out around my birthday in 2019, so like 6 years.
2017.
17.
Mhm.
17. Oh yeah, 2016 is when I moved out. Yeah, 2017. So it
Yeah.
came out in around March, I think it was. And then
Mhm.
and I got my pre-order, and I pre-ordered like 3 of them because I wanted to be one of those assholes and sell them online. But Walmart gave away my Switch pre-order to somebody
What?
random. And yeah, and so I good thing I went to 2 Walmarts and pre-ordered. So the other one had my Switch, but they gave away my multicolored one, and I was really mad about that. So all I got was the black one.
Oh, did you
I
wanted
had
the
two pre-orders, and they just sold them to random people.
but you got one though, right?
I did eventually get one. Yes,
And you
but
got
I
with the gray controllers or the black controllers?
Yeah,
Oh, see that
I still have it.
I don't. I've eventually got rid of my initial one. Oh my, this is great. So yeah, this is great. So actually, we're going to do this now. So when I got my Switch, Richard got it for me for my birthday, and and I definitely wanted like the gray one because at the time I was like, I'm a serious gamer. I don't want colors on my Switch. I'm an adult now. I'm in my
I'm not
40s.
gay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't want anybody to know I like boys. But then now you can't see it here, but now I've got like multicolor, Joy-Cons on it because it just looks so much better with those colors on it. But like, anyways, just like my first Switch, Richard got it for my birthday. It was a really nice gift. I was really excited, and it was on my like second trip with it that it like I left it on my seat on a plane.
Oh, no.
Somebody totally stole it, so I had to like try and get it back from the flight. They couldn't find it, and it was like it's gone. It's a Switch. It had just been out for like a little bit. So and then I had to like, luckily, like long and the short, I was able to claim it through insurance through work, and so I didn't tell Richard until like I knew I was going to get it back, and I was like, hey babe, I need to tell you something. He was like, something serious, and he looked at me with like really weird eyes. I was like, I lost my Switch, and he's like, Alan. And I was like,
Alan, no.
anyways, yeah. So yeah, like, let's talk more about the Switch when we get there, because
Okay, anyway.
I am so excited for Switch 2. I can't believe it's coming. So we're going to do some predictions or what we want, what we're hoping for on this one, because then the next episode, we're going to be reacting to the video or the Nintendo Direct, where they're going to be
So
telling us
that,
more.
actually.
Yeah, I mean, everything's already been leaked, but there'll be stuff. I think there's going to be stuff.
they're gonna tell us what game's gonna be released with it, and okay, we'll get to that soon.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hold that excitement, Mike. Pack it in. We're getting there. So, Mike, tell me about you. What kind of gamer are you, Mike? Like, tell us about your favorite games, your least favorite games. What are you into? All this kind of good stuff. Let's start with Mike, Magic Mike Maldonado. What kind of gamer are you?
I am a GAYMER. So
I love it.
I'm always excuse me. I'm always on the road, and like I'm a flight attendant, so I'm going from here to there, and I like to play the Switch mainly because I can take it with me. I'm not going to pack a PS5 with me and everywhere I go and try to hook it up to a hotel TV. A lot of them don't even have the access to the connections in the back. I've tried it with my other things, but so the Switch is definitely what I play on most of the time. I do like computer games as well, so I'll pack up my computer and play that. I'm really into League of Legends and
LOLs, LOLs.
low. But But yeah, what kind of gamer? I like all games. Like literally, I
Yeah.
love adventure games. I love exploring. I love indie games. I love cute little Mario games and Pokemon. Like whatever is on, whatever comes out. I'm like, I get FOMO, and I'm like, I have to play it. So I'll buy it and play it. And
Mm-hmm.
even if
Mm-hmm.
I hate it, I'll still want to play it. So, but I don't really
Uh,
hate any game. So
you don't. Oh, I definitely have some games I hate, but just on that like buying of games, are you somebody who's like, no, no, I'm gonna complete my backlog, but then like the second a game comes out, you're like, oh, I gotta get the new shit.
exactly, yeah. I still have to get that Princess game on Switch because I stopped for a little bit
Princess
because
Peach Showtime,
yeah, whatever it's called. Yeah, I think that's is
mm-hmm.
that it. So
The one where you play as Princess Peach. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like I just always I'll get really into something and then I'll stop and then I'll go into something else and I'll forget
Uh-huh.
about like I forgot about the Switch for like 6 months and then I kept on playing my computer games and then like, oh no, I want to play Switch again. So I'll go back and
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
but I have a lot of backlog, like a
Yeah.
lot.
It's the forever thing that's always like sitting on our shoulders, and the backlog is never going to go away. I've just given up on thinking about it. I'm just like, I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons about like the whole premise of Out of Sync of like, just play whatever you want. Like, don't really think about, the latest and greatest because there's so many good games, so many good games. So, so did you grow up on Nintendo? You said you're a kid of the 90s. Like,
Yes, I think our
what was
very
your
first game system
background in
was
gaming?
the NES. So the
Okay,
regular
cool.
original Nintendo. We
Yeah.
had the little actual robot thing that
Oh,
would
you had
move when
Rob?
you pointed it. Yes, Rob, thank
Cool.
you.
Mm-hmm.
This was back when I lived in California. So I moved out of California when I was 7. So I was like 5 or 6 around this time. So my brother got it
Mm-hmm.
for Christmas or whatever. And I just remember me wanting to play it all the time. And we would go to Blockbuster and rent games and
Yeah.
whatever. So,
Yep.
yeah, and so I remember. So our neighbors, I remember we would go over their house, and they had what is it called? Sega Saturn? No, that's old. That's newer. There was
No,
a one.
if
No,
it was at
Sega
that time,
CD. Sega CD is
they
that
had
one?
Sega Genesis and Sega CD.
So they had that, and there
Yeah.
was like some weird like click and play games. Like there was like a Sherlock Holmes one with
Uh-huh.
mystery. And I was like, I don't understand this game, but I want to play video games. I want to do it. But they always had the new latest and greatest next door. So then when we got our Nintendo, it was like the best thing ever. And
Yeah.
of course, they bought me like the Sesame Street games and all that. So I was playing that. And
Wait, how
but
old
yeah,
were you?
I must have been 5 or 6 whenever
Oh,
that's
okay. I
yeah.
was like, okay, that's appropriate. Sesame Street's kind
Yeah,
of
well,
like,
yeah.
okay,
And
yeah,
then there
fine.
was a Little Mermaid game, which I could never beat. And then, but I would play that game. And
Yeah.
the best game I think for NES, in my opinion, as a 6-year-old child, was Aladdin. Aladdin was amazing.
Was that they had Aladdin on the NES or
Was
was
it?
it one on
Oh,
I
was that
because
Super Nintendo? Maybe.
I think it was the Super Nintendo
No. Okay,
where
wait. What
you
was the
throw the
best game on
apples?
NES? Okay, no. The best game on the NES was Super Mario 3. Mario 3, the game
Mm-hmm.
where you can turn into the little raccoon. Go,
Yeah.
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 So I
Oh,
know, but you're right though. Sorry, I jumped ahead. Super Nintendo was Aladdin. That was the best game. So, in my
okay.
opinion, other
So
than Mario Kart.
your favorite game on Nintendo was not Sesame Street, it was Super Mario Brothers
Oh, of
3.
course, not Sesame.
No.
However, so we had like thousands of games, right? And I could never beat
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda. I didn't even understand it. That gold
Yeah.
disc one, I was like, I don't even know what this is.
Yeah.
But
And you hit like 5. That's pretty
yeah.
yeah.
But but yeah. So that's my first gaming system, and then from there we got Sega Genesis. We literally had every single gaming system growing up. Sega Genesis, we had Sega Saturn, that was mine. And then
Cool.
we had Super Nintendo and 64, every single one growing up. And
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation 2. Yep. And then it became adult and it got worse. So
Yeah. Like yeah, because once you get expendable income, you can like start buying stuff, and it's it's an addiction. I'm gonna here to say that I'm addicted to buying video games.
exactly.
But going back to like growing up with your games, was it like were you a family like where everybody played games together? Like was it like a family activity?
I made my mom play Mario Kart with me one time, and she ended up just going the wrong way the whole entire time. And then I think one time, I think she just kept on saying, "Oh, this cloud guy keeps helping me, and I love it." And I'm like, "No, he's not. He's saving you, yes, but he's not helping you. You're still last place." So no, nobody would play video games except for me and my brother. So
Oh, okay.
how about
And
you?
well, yeah. So I do you know what? I feel so lucky about like the time frame I was born, right? So I was born in 1980, so I'm like a troglodyte now in the gaming world, right? Um, but I find that so lucky because like I hit it all at the right beats of like, so when the Nintendo came out, we got one when I was 7 years old. We got one for Christmas, and like came with Mario Brothers and all of that. And I was just fixated. I mean, that's when I could start to remember playing games and like actively like do it myself. Before that though, we did have an Atari 2600 and like, the one with the joystick that you kind
Hmm.
of move like that. So I was like
I've
playing the
seen that
really,
in a museum once.
yeah, it is total museum material now, right? But like that's how I got my hands first on a video game was that one, and that was like playing Pac-Man, or E.T., like all the kind of really like quintessential. The one where you jungle something. It was an Activision game, Jungle. Oh, it'll come to me in a minute. But like,
Yeah.
I can't. I'm having a brain fart. But I had all those games. But then the Nintendo really felt like it was mine, or because
Okay.
I got it as like a joint present for my sister, my brother, and I. But I was the one that really took to it, and I was just good at it, right? I don't know. It just kind of came naturally to me. Like I could like get through Mario Brothers without dying really quickly. Plowed my way through Zelda. I loved it. Metroid was really like important to me, and like kind of thinking like, oh my gosh, there's like these abilities for games to not just be like run left to right and kill the Goomba like you do in Mario, but there's actually like different areas to explore and things to find and secrets and all that stuff. And it just started to
Yeah.
make me think like, I want to know what's going on, right?
Yeah,
So
and you like see these little houses too, like, and you like, I want to go in there and see who
yeah,
lives in there. And it wasn't a thing back then, but now it
no.
is, so which is cool. But
Yeah. Oh gosh, I haven't really thought about that. Like, yeah, you're right. You would be like we
I
had to
want to
fill in the
explore
gaps.
everything.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But you had to do that too, because like you remember some games that like would just be like graphics and design that you would walk up to and you're like, can I go into this house? No. Can I go into this house? No.
Hmm.
Can I go into that house? So half the game was just trying to figure out what fucking house can I go into. um,
Exactly.
but I loved it, and I just loved all of the like, I loved trying to figure out the mechanics of games. I loved that, like, because I'm a theater kid, right? That's my background. So I think anything where I can use my imagination and like tell a story with it. At the time, like on the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo, the graphics weren't like what like they are today. So you kind of filled in the gap with a lot of things. Um, so you were able to sort of like tell your own, fill in like what this world really was, right?
Hmm.
Beyond just needing all these like impressive graphics. Yeah, so Super Nintendo kid. When I got my Game Boy, it was the one where I like, I basically, those videos you see on social of like somebody opening a Nintendo 64 when they're a kid and they're screaming and they're running around the
Yeah,
house. That was me when I got my Game Boy.
I always
Um,
got the hand-me-downs. Like,
oh,
so
did you?
my brother has like all the game. I still have the original Game Boy, and so like my
Sick.
brother had it, and then eventually I just ended up in my hands, and then I ended up getting Game Boy Color, which I still have, and then I just loved it. And then that's when Pokemon gave me that fulfillment because you could go almost into every house in Pokemon and like talk to
Yeah.
everybody, and then see their little kids. I mean, kids, their little Pokemons, and
Uh-huh.
then that was just so exciting to me. So yeah, I
Uh-huh.
love my little Pokemon Color. I think
Uh-huh.
that was the first one, Pokemon Color, a Game Boy Color. That was probably the first gaming system I could say that was mine because it was bought for me and I
Cool.
loved it. And then I took it everywhere with me. So I'm always a mobile gamer. I love mobile games. So
Yeah, there is something really special about that. I think that's one of the things I love about the Switch so much is that it can just be in my own little world, but it's so nice to be able to pop it on the TV. Um, and I think that like, I was like 18 or 17 or 18 when Pokemon came out. So I was just starting to like think about like graduating high school and going in college and stuff. So I missed the whole Pokemon boat,
yeah,
which I
you're like,
feel
I'm too old for this.
totally, yeah,
But guess
right.
what? Aren't you into it now?
Well, that's the problem is I keep trying to get into it. So you're going to have to coach me through Pokemon at some point because I got the latest one for Switch, Scarlet
Uh,
or Violet, and
I don't know.
it's just a broken mess. And I mean, come on, the
I just
Pokemon
like I like the
Company.
original ones. I love the original
I
ones.
wish they would put them out on the NSO for Game Boy. Why have they not put them on, the Nintendo Switch Online for Game Boy yet? Because I
They
would totally play
should.
them there. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Why haven't they?
Get it together, Pokemon Company. Come on,
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Chat
Um,
Nintendo
yeah,
USA, whatever.
take our advice from Addison Gaming.
I
But
know.
that's one thing. That's something like we could look at because I just need a little bit of like. I mean, it's not the like most challenging thing to get into, but I need somebody who loves it like you to kind of go like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through red. We're gonna go through blue. You're gonna catch your Charizard. You're gonna catch your Pikachu
But
or
that was just the
whatever.
exciting part. Like that was just
Yeah.
the fun part of just involving it. It just felt like, I don't know, getting in everybody's game was different. So that's kind of like what
Mm-hmm.
was cool about it. So
Mm-hmm. And do you remember like being a kid when you would borrow games? Oh, that was so fun
from
borrowing games from
somebody,
your friends. Yeah.
yeah, and never
I
giving
just
it back. That was the best.
were you that friend that never gave it back?
I don't know. I had games that I didn't know where they came from. So maybe.
Oh my gosh, you're like a secret klepto, like going around stealing everyone's games. How funny.
Yeah. Oh well,
I that happened to me and it's like a core visceral like sad memory. Was Slalom on the Nintendo, like one of the black box games. You remember how like when they first came out, maybe you don't remember this, but like when they first came out, they all had black boxes. They didn't have like cool art. That yeah, I think they called them the black box series. Slalom was
don't
one
know
of
what
them.
you're
It
talking
was
about.
a skiing one. Look it up.
Oh,
Know
I
your
remember that
history,
game.
Mikey.
I knew
Yeah,
that
Slalom.
game.
Somebody stole it from me, and I still remember this day. I was so angry because we let them borrow it. And I think they let us borrow something really shitty that was like totally lame. And I was like, I want my slalom game back. That was really cool. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, right?
What are you gonna do? But I do remember the slalom game actually. I remember hearing about it in this museum trip I took to the Smithsonian. And just kidding. Um, I'm only 6 years
I
young. I was born in '86, so I wasn't that far behind you. But
oh well.
so anyway, I was going to ask you, what are you playing now? What are you playing today? In
Oh
today's game?
man. So I now get to be so you know when you were a kid and you're like, oh but would you well actually you said you had all the systems, so I didn't. Like we
The
didn't
only system I
have
never had was Wii U, and I was thankful. I guess I was marked to safe from Wii U, but
okay.
however, I would have loved it. I'm sure. So
I think you would. I mean, you got all the games on the Switch anyway, so
yeah.
I did love my Wii U. But when I was younger, like I didn't get all the systems. I couldn't have everything. So, um,
Poor.
we
I'm just kidding. I'm
no,
just kidding.
we weren't video game rich, but like
I was poor.
we weren't made of money. But I was also like, do you remember like the console wars of like Sega Genesis versus Super Nintendo? Like you couldn't like one or the other. Did you ever get into that? Because I was totally a Nintendo kid. And I was like, I'm never gonna play a Sega.
Yes, I know that. I understand that, but we had both. So
Okay, yeah, yeah. You were Switzerland of the video game console wars, which is good. But I'm saying that because like now today, I am like, if you would have told 12-year-old me that 44-year-old me has every video game console that's out right now and can play them on their phone or whatever, I've been like, I can't wait to be this age. And you know what, Mike? I am like living my video game dream life right now, right? I've got every
amazing.
system. I'm so lucky. I am so blessed. I am so, I don't take this for granted. I've got the Xbox Series X in here. I've got a Series S in the bedroom. I've got PlayStation 5, which is so ugly that we hide it away because it's monstrous, but it's,
Remember
great. I've got my
PlayStation 2? How slim when they made the slim one? It was so beautiful.
so cute. God, can't we get back to just like really good console design? I've got the Switch, but I'm not a PC gamer. I'm not in, so that's why I'm like really
Because
interested to like,
you only have Macs, right?
yeah, I'm mostly on a Mac, but
Yeah.
but even then, I don't know if I like. I'm not interested in like loading something up on my laptop or a PC or something and like playing that. So I'm really excited for you to kind of like unlock that world for me
Oh
because
my
I know
god!
you know it
Wait till we
well.
talk
So
about
like,
Sims.
yeah,
Sims
we're not gonna
3.
get anything done. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of me now. In the world and how I play things. So yeah, and I'm now I've gotten over my console war. I'm console inclusive. Every console is welcome. Bring it in because let's have it. I want everybody to play together. Yeah. So yeah, and I think if you had to ask me like favorite game,
What are
like
you
what's your
playing currently today? What is your go-to console?
wait. I just want to. Oh, what's my go-to console right
Yeah,
now?
like right now. What do you always
Uh,
just find yourself going back to?
Well, I think I'm hopping around because like you, I do
You little
travel. I don't
slut.
travel as much as you.
You
Yeah, I'm a
slutty
little gaming.
slut.
I'm a little game whore. Um, like you, I travel quite a lot, and so when I'm traveling on the road, the Switch just gets totally
Mhm.
abused. Like so many different games on there. But then when I'm home, I want to maximize my time with like the PS5 or the Xbox. So right now, the PS5 is getting a lot of my attention because Richard got me the PlayStation Portal for my
Oh
birthday
yeah.
last year, or for Christmas, I think, or was it my birthday? I can't remember. And it's so transformative. So like, and it's a beautiful screen. So that's like
I
helping
have to
me
try
play a
that.
lot of PlayStation 5. Yeah, you totally do. Next time you're in London, you should come over and try it out.
No, I'll
Um,
use it.
so yeah, and then yeah, because good segue. I want to take us into games we've been playing at the moment. But before we do that, you have to answer the question, Mike. What is your favorite video game of all time?
Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh no, no, I can't answer that. Oh, video
You
game?
have
Okay,
to.
can we say video game or PC game? Can it be like console wise or just of all time?
It
Okay,
can be
fine.
anyone. You have it like you are.
I
You
think
have
what
to do
changed
one.
my life and got me back into gaming because I wasn't gaming on consoles for a long time
Uh
was
huh.
probably the Nintendo Switch and Breath of the Wild. So I would probably say Breath of the Wild is probably one of the my favorite game of all time. But then if you go
Pretty good.
back, I'll be like, oh my god, I like Sims 3. Oh my god, I like League of Legends. So I just it's just all these different computer games and it's completely different. But yeah, I would say Breath of the Wild is probably I just have such good memories of just like exploring and playing that. It's like it's already become nostalgic for me, and I like it. So I can't wait for the new Switch
Mm-hmm.
so I can play it again. But
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna? It's so good, isn't it? Gosh, yeah, it's such a good game.
yeah, it is pretty
Do you
good.
think they're gonna do that whole like pay for a nicer version, like the HD version or something
I hope it's
with the
just
Switch?
like automatic. Like I
Nintendo
don't want to
don't give
pay.
nothing for free,
Hey,
Mike. No, they
they're giving you all
don't.
this online stuff,
Mm-mm,
but
that ain't free. Mm-mm,
I
they're gonna
know
take your
it's like
money.
$25 a year. I don't know. I will probably pay for everything. Yes. So
Yeah, I think I would love us. You know what we need to do one time is in a future episode. I'd love us to go through and rank all the Zelda games because they are all so good, and I would love to see
there's
where
a
we
few
land
games
on
I
like.
haven't played on Zelda,
That's
but
okay. We don't have to play them all.
yeah.
We can work it out. We'll get you playing those games, Mike. Don't worry.
Okay,
Don't worry.
he's fine.
So okay, so right now, and look, this will change maybe in 2 weeks' time because I'm like that way. You ask me right now, my favorite game is, it might change in 2 weeks, but Breath of the Wild, Mike, you are honestly, it's such an amazing game. You're so right. It was so transformative. It was just magical, isn't it? My favorite game of all time has to be Super Mario World. It was like, I think it's just
I like.
I love platforming. I really love pick up and play stuff, and
Mhm.
I'm just it's also the nostalgic beats. Of course, I'm a victim of that, but like it's still just such a good game. I played it recently to write a review of it for when we launched the website because I wanted that to be the first review I wrote because it's such an important game in like my gaming
Yeah,
history and like for me. And
yeah.
it's
Everybody
just
goes back to that one.
such a banger. It is like I would almost say it's like the perfect video game. Like it's
And
just
it
so
wasn't
good.
easy at all.
No, no, it's still hard. Like it was kicking my ass this time, and it's like I know it. But yeah, just so good. The graphics hold up to this day. The challenges hold up. Yoshi has to be the cutest, freaking, most adorable thing in the entire
Ever.
world. Like
Like,
ever,
can we be honest too?
ever.
Like Yoshi's gay, right?
Oh, I think
With
so.
that
And the
tongue and them apples, like come on. Like he
I
can just
think,
don't.
yeah. I mean, if he's not, he's definitely allowed in the community. Come on in, Yoshi. We
Exactly.
love you for who you are. But
100.
whenever that real lore comes out from the background of Yoshi, I mean, that's actually a really interesting question because if you think about Yoshi's Island, I mean, all those Yoshis running around, like that's
Mm.
kind of like Fire Island, right? I know what they get up to out there in Yoshi Town.
You don't know. You don't know.
Hey, no shame here. No shame at all. Live your best life, Yoshi. We love you
We
forever
do.
and ever.
Well,
Do it again.
I don't know if I can.
I think you did.
But
What are you doing when you jump? The noise it makes when you sit on him. Yeah, when you finally sit on him.
yeah.
But it's that like, but the best part, it's like those kind of things are so ingrained in my mind. I can't even remember what I did this morning, but I can tell you all of the noises from games, and it's like they're just so etched in, like in as a part of me, right? And I just think that's
100%.
one of the magic things about it all. And
Like
just
Mario swimming underwater, going
yeah,
the whole
hmm
time. Yeah, that's always in my mind.
The worst underwater sound is when Sonic is running out of breath and Sonic the Hedgehog. Do you remember that
And he
one? It's like,
gasps for the
yeah,
so graphic.
it's so graphic. It's like my blood pressure rises. It's stress inducing. I've literally got to walk away from the game
And
because
it's like he like looks at you like,
yeah, like I just want some fucking air.
and then he finds that bubble and goes,
Mm-hmm.
oh my god, I
Oh my
forgot
god.
about that. It's good
Uh-huh.
time.
See, yeah, core memory unlocked, triggered. You're
Yes.
triggered.
So yeah, Super Mario World. That was definitely what's it called? Like opened the world for everybody for all the other games.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it was one of those games that just was amazing, and it just like it was like the first open world ever. And then I loved looking at the comparison of the map size and like when you like zoom out, it's like this bigger than Breath of the Wild. It's like this
Yeah.
whole room. But it's
Yeah.
crazy though because the Super Mario World was so big too, and it was like so much to explore. So
Yeah.
that was really cool. I remember just me sitting like this playing that game and just sitting in this, watching him just do his little movements and do something, like, and just chilling in Princess Peach's castle or area, and just like not doing anything, just like walking around. So and that was exciting for me. So
yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, so
that's
good.
big.
Good video games. Love it. All right. So, anything else about your history of video gaming, Mike, that you want to share? Anything you forgot about?
I don't know. I never bought a GameCube, but I ended up having one at one point. Don't know how I got it, but I actually do know how I got it. But
Is this kind of like
borrowed
you
it.
don't know how you got all your games?
So that's what history. No, it was an
you know.
X. It was an X, and then he never took it when he broke up. So there we go.
Oh, I think that's fair game. Yeah, that's a whole different level of like game collection. Like if an X left it, the game is now
And
yours.
I don't know what happened to it to this day. I had it, and I have no idea where it went. I had a GameCube, I have no idea where it's at.
They are kind of like they're going up in price now. People are really loving those. There,
I think I might gave it to Goodwill. I don't know.
Well, rumor is that I think there was some patent or something that was released this week that says that, because you know how like on Nintendo Switch Online they have like released all the controllers from the old systems, like the Genesis controller and the N64. So that has been it looks like that they're making one for something to do with Switch, like the old GameCube controller.
I mean, I have the GameCube controller for Switch right now. Like it's like I don't know, off-brand, but I love it. I use it to play Smash Brothers.
Oh, Smash Brothers. I can't figure that one out. You're going to need to help me play that
Super
one because I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it.
Well, I think I'm decent.
Well, yeah, okay. Yes, let's talk about Smash Brothers at a later date. Yeah, great. So little trip about us, our gaming history. I love thinking about the past of video games, Mike. Thanks for doing that. That gives me all the warm feels. I love it. All the feels. That's gotten me in the mood for a little cozy kind of sit down and look at it, play an old Super Nintendo game tonight after dinner.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, but that's for later. Right, so let's switch over to the games we have been playing. What games have you been playing, Mike? What's grabbing your attention at the moment? And tell us a little bit about it.
I've been playing two things, actually. I forgot. I have a Oculus, a Meta, whatever they're called, Meta Quest 3. Yeah. So I play this game called Death Unchained.
Is that a horror game?
Oh, I want to say it is, but it's like you're an archer and you just like shoot things, and it's one of those games that I forgot what they call it, and I can look it up. But it's where the map is just randomly generated every time with
like a roguelike.
Kind of. And you're just an archer and you're just shooting them, and they're like evil things, and I love it, and it's really fun on the VR, and it's one of my favorite things to do on VR, and I always find myself going back to it. It's not multiplayer, which I wish it was, but it's one of the best games I've ever played on VR. And So that's one of my favorite games. You're just an
Wait.
archer that's like from heaven, I guess, and then you're just killing all the heathens out there, the bad things, and it's cool. I don't know. It's so satisfying because the mechanics and I guess the physics of it feels like you're really shooting a bow and arrow, which is funny because I went to go shoot bow and arrow last time when I was in Nottingham in the UK, and we went to Robin Hood's archer thing, and I thought I was gonna do really good. It sucked so badly. So I'm just only good on VR. But I really thought that game was going to help me.
Like, okay, hold on a minute. So this sounds, it sounds like, because, okay, so I can't, VR makes me feel a little sick, right? So I haven't found the right game to be able to, like,
get your VR legs.
yeah, but it's also really annoying because I wear glasses. So, like, it's hard to fit.
I have lenses in my headset that are prescribed. They just pop them on. And
no, see, now that for me is like just feeling like too much energy. If I have to go get prescription lenses for my VR, I don't know. That you already lost me.
It's an online order. You type in your prescription, then you get it in like 5 days, and then you pop them in, and then it's for your son. Or you can wear your glasses with it, but your glasses are kind of big.
Yeah, they're really big. Wait, so going back to this game, so you are this archer who is descended from heaven, and you have been given what, like an arrow, like the bow and arrow from the gods, and you have a mandate to go down to this horribly infested, demonic, I'm assuming, kind of space world.
And you're killing, there's all these different creatures, and you're killing them. Well, they're kind of like humanoids, and then there are a few like evil things. But yes, you're just killing them, and and then you progress. And what's the great thing about the game is it's called In Death. Sorry, In Death Unchained.
Death. Okay.
The best thing about the game is that you don't get to level up until you die. So that's why the replayability of it is amazing, because you start out with like one arrow, you're one type of arrow, and you're shooting, you're killing everything, and then you eventually die. But during that, you've unlocked, or you know how you get badges and whatnot. You unlock certain badges, which then unlock more arrows for you, different types of arrows, flaming arrows, like, you know, instant death arrows or whatever. And then you get to play your next round and going into the game, doing the same thing again, but the map has changed slightly. All the bad guys are the same, but then now you have more mechanics and more things to do that you can use. And then you keep on doing that, and eventually you just keep on getting more good stuff and more good stuff and more health and more shields and more this and more armor. And then you just keep playing and playing and playing until like you. So I'm only got like, I think I'm 80% done with the game, and I still have stuff to unlock. But the replayability of it never ends. Like it's always want to replay, because you can, once you beat the whole thing without dying, then you just start over again, and then you're like, oh god, it gets harder and harder and harder. So some people have gone through, like, they're in like their 11th or 12th run already. I'm like, ooh, I've only gone through twice, and it's not easy, but I like it.
Did you ever play Vampire Survivors? It's like,
I don't think I played it. No. Oh, wait,
okay.
No, yes, you made me play it.
Did I? The one that's
on
like
the iPhone, right?
Yeah,
You're spinning around shooting stuff.
Yeah, you're just walking around. I feel like that's it's like the
addicting.
VR version of that, right? So you're like, because the same with Vampire Survivors is like, you've got to jump in and you kill as many people, and then you die, and then you get your points, and then you can buy more weapons, right? So it feels like it's a kind of similar setup.
That idea is the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
and just help me out, like paint a picture for me, because I'm like, it sounds really cool. So you've got your whatever they're called, joysticks, or the things that are in your hands for VR. What is it, like your controllers?
VR controllers. I don't know
how do you like? How is it that you literally make the motion of pulling a bow and arrow back, and
when you hold the button that grabs like the string, and then you pull back, and then you just aim, and then depending on how far you pull back is how far the arrow will go. And
oh my gosh.
It's the mechanics, and I guess the physics is and what real archers have said from what I've read is that it's spot on, and that's why I thought I was going to do good when I really went to go shoot bow and arrows, but it didn't work.
That is amazing. So they've literally got like archery physics down to a T, where like little archers are going like, this is what it's like to shoot heavenly arrows, basically. And
it is so sad. Look, next time I see you, I'll bring it. And it's just when you do it, it's so satisfying when you let go of the arrow and it goes where you want it to go, and And the aim does, I mean, your aim takes a little bit, but then once you get the hang of it, you're getting headshot after headshot, and it's like so good.
You're like an archery badass. Yeah.
It's super satisfying. It
And
is.
the enemies that you're killing, is there like a different, like lots of different variety of enemies, and some of them need more arrows to like kill and stuff like
Exactly.
that?
Yeah.
Like what do they
there's the
look
big
like?
bad guy. Well, so the basic one that usually take one hit are like, I don't even know what they're called, but they look like little zombies. Like
Uh-huh.
they look horrifying. They're like
Right.
have eyes and like no mouth, and they're just like, and they run at
Uh-huh.
you. Have you seen 28 Days Later?
Oh,
You know
Joey,
how they
yeah.
run, or
Yes,
even World War
yes.
Z, how they get really quick and start coming. So they
Uh-huh.
come like that. They're like
So creepy.
they start running at you like super fast. They're really scary. And I've broken several things in my room from playing it because I jump back and I hit the wall or do something. But so that one's amazing. And then there's also like these knights. They look like knights, and they have all the full armor on, and they have a sword, and
Mm-hmm.
they take a lot more roads to kill. And then there's these witches, and there's these ghosts. There's all these things. There's these cupids, flying cupids that are really
You gotta
annoying.
kill
And
cupids? Are they like
yes,
evil
but they're
cupids?
evil. Yeah, and they shoot arrows back
Oh,
at you, and they're rude. And then
I ran sidebar. Like, I, is it like I don't know Cupid lore well enough, but I think Cupids are actually kind of like evil beings, and then
they're little
suddenly we've
shits.
appropriated them to like the little purveyors of love at Valentine's Day. Like, how did they switch their gig? I don't know about that. I don't know
That's a
about
good
that.
question.
Hmm.
I don't know either. But if you
Don't
just like
trust a Cupid, is
Google
what we're saying.
exactly,
Yeah.
just like YouTube in-depth Unchained gameplay,
Okay.
and it's so you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it, because you were like it's all first person. So,
Yeah.
but it's really cool. That's a good game. So
And
and then League of Legends are the two games I've been playing really. So
okay, so okay, now you're gonna have to like so in death that one is what was the whole title again?
in death Unchained.
In Death Unchained. Okay, I'll have to go look that up. But yeah, definitely bring over your quest next time you're in London, and I'll try it out. We could do with let's do that, and we can get some footage of me trying to play it and like falling over and all that stuff. That would be quite funny. Um,
Don't fall.
so okay, yeah. So switch over to League of Legends. So Mike, I have no idea about League of Legends, right? I am a newbie. I'm not even a newbie. I'm like a nothing when it comes to League of Legends. But I mean, am I even a real gamer? People are asking me now. But like, so
You're not a computer
just
gamer, so
I'm not a PC gamer. So thank you for thank you for not pushing me out of this podcast. Tell me, what is League of Legends? I mean, I know a little bit about it, but like, what is League of Legends? And tell me why it's like taken over people's lives, because this is like something that grabs a
yeah,
hold
it's
of people and doesn't
addicting.
let them go.
Okay, so League of Legends is a MOBA, which is a what does that mean? Multiplayer online battle arena,
Uh-huh.
and they have several type of maps on there, and I like the ARAM map, which means all random, all mid, which that's a whole nother. Okay, so what it is they release new champions like every single quarter, I want to say.
Okay.
But there's over 100 and something champions. I'm not even sure how many there are, but there's over 100 and something champions. I own every single one of them. I don't know every single one of them. I know how they work, the mechanics. They all have different abilities. They all have different
Mm-hmm.
ways to play them. There
Mm-hmm.
are so there's always a tank. There's always a mage. There's a
Mm-hmm.
support which can heal most of the time or shield
Cool.
and kind of do
Cool.
some support things. And then there's always like a ADC attack damage carry, which is um they just do all the damage. Like they just like to they usually have guns or arrows or something, so they're
Yeah.
like kind of shoot. And there's always a fighter. So and
Mm-hmm.
then which is like melee, And so yeah, and so the goal is you have a team of five, and then the other side has a team of five, and you have your base with turrets. They
Mm-hmm.
call them towers or turrets, and then you're protecting the nexus, which is your main thing. Once you destroy the other team's nexus, then the game's over. So they're trying to destroy yours, you're trying to
Ah,
destroy
okay.
theirs, and
Tower
you're just kind
defense
of
kind
like
of stuff.
yes, and you're just battling in the middle, and yeah, so it's oh yeah, and there's also a jungle, which is it's kind of weird. It's like kind of explain it actually. It's like there's these animals in the jungle, and the jungle goes and kills those to get more experience and points. And then the
Right.
jungle like comes in and ganks other lanes because there's a top lane, a middle lane, and a bottom lane, and
Mm-hmm.
then the jungle lane. And so they come in and try to help and try to get kills. Because the more kills you get, the more money you get, the more items you can buy and level up your character. And so each game takes about 30 minutes to an hour. I'd say average is about 45 minutes
Okay.
for a game.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, it's really fun and it's addicting. And it's the same exact map every single time. So I always feel like it's like the definition of crazy or going insane because you're playing the same thing over again, expecting a different result. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so okay, so that's really helpful. So basically, it just sidebarred all 150 characters or whatever. Did you have to pay for them?
So you can. I think I probably put in a pretty penny into League of Legends.
How long have you been playing it?
I think since 2013. Been playing it,
my days! So this is like 12 years I've been playing this game.
Yes,
That's like longer than like
so
that's like longer than some relationships.
It is. We are in a relationship. Okay, so League of Legends has 170 champions.
Oh my gosh!
Wait, as of January 23rd, they have 170 champions. I own all of them, so you can pay for them. But the more you play, the more in-game currency you kind of get, and then you can purchase them. And I've just played so much that I've got majority of them for free. So,
that is impressive. So 12 years of playing this, so going back to this same map, before I get into the map. So you've got your champion, and when you sit down to play the game, you like log on and you just get matched up with people around the world who want to jump into this map with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The thing is though, you have to, so you kind of bid. There's different areas. Like you can either go in randomly and just pick whatever champion you want and make other people mad because they're like, I want that lane. And because every certain champion is made for a certain lane. Like the middle lane is normally a mage, or it could also be like an attack, it doesn't have to be a mage, but it's that champion's best mechanics are used best in the middle lane. Whereas the top lane, that champion is usually a tanky champion or a fighter, and then the bottom lane is where the support and the attack damage carry are at ABC. So they like work together, and then the jungle is always there's certain champions that excel better in certain areas. So if you choose a champion and you go into, like, say I choose a support, but I'm going to the top lane, and they're like, "Yo, why are you doing that? You're going to get killed. You're so squishy." And so so you can make people mad, but there's other areas of the game where you enter the game and you choose, I want to be in the middle, or I want to be in the bottom, or I want to be at top. Everybody wants to be at top, but so like
we ain't talking about the club, Mike. We talking about LOL.
So like you can choose what position you want to play, and then it will award you a position. Sometimes it'll award you a random one because they need a fill spot,
right?
And then you choose your champion based on that, and you kind of look at your team, and someone's like, "Oh no, we need a tank," and so like, "Oh, okay, I can change," and then you kind of just choose your champion that way. And the best way is it's a team game. It's not an individual game, which people forget, because like you can be doing the best, like you can be the best, you can be getting all the kills and all that, and everybody else sucks, and then you still lose. So it's like you're only as strong as your weakest champion.
Yeah. And have you like built a community of friends over the 12 years? Like, do you find yourself playing with the same people?
I have. I used to play with the same people constantly. Like we were besties and stuff, and we would get on and we'd have my phone number, text me like, "Are you playing?"
Oh,
Never
cool.
met these people in life.
Right.
But a lot of them stopped playing, and I feel alone. I feel alone now.
Oh, we need to get you. If your listeners out there, if you're League of Legends stands, get involved. Mikey needs some friends to play with.
My League of Legends name is Maldi, Malldee.
We'll put that in the show notes. We can put that in the show notes so you can find him. Yeah.
Maldi. But so the other game the other game in League of Legends is all random, all mid. So the original game has a top lane, a bottom lane, and a middle lane. But with ARAM, it's just one middle lane, and all 5 of you are stuck in the middle. Like all 10 of you are in the middle going against each other, and it's random. So like the champion you get was random. It's just pulled from the pool of champions you already own.
Yeah.
And so you can re-roll and then trade your champion out if you don't really like the champion you got. But it's all random, and then you're all put in the mid. And then you just kind of fight, and it's fast. That game could go from 15, 20 minutes long. So it's a lot fast paced. And that's why I like it, because I can get like 10 games in
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know.
And what's the main objective of the game? Like, what are you trying to win? Take
Just
down the
trying to
other
win
people,
the game.
take down the person's
You're
tower,
just
like go and
Yeah, you're just
demolish
so you got
them.
to destroy their tower and then destroy their other tower. Then you got to destroy their inhibitor, which spawns. So minions are in the game that are like these little things that they're constantly battling each other from each
Yeah.
side, and that's how you get gold too. By killing them, you get more gold. And then it's kind of complicated now that I think about it. But and then once you destroy their inhibitor, then you have access to their nexus, which is also guarded by towers. So you got to kill those, destroy those, and then you can destroy the nexus. But the best is when they like almost win and you like kill them, and then you come back. I love a comeback story.
Oh,
So does
okay.
Kim Kardashian. But I love a
Literally
comeback story.
so good. So good.
But so like, and then you come back and then destroy them and win. It's satisfying. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just, and you're playing the same thing over and over again, but I never get bored of it. So
So the thing that makes it different is obviously the characters that people choose, right? And
yeah,
like the people that have been playing like for a long time, like yourself, you'll have different levels of those characters. So it's kind of luck of the draw. So the strategy is I'm gonna,
well, your
you
character
know,
always starts out at a low level. Everybody starts out at a low level,
uh-huh.
but your experience with it is different because you've like
Right.
you you're usually it'll show you like, oh, this person is like level 23 on this character. It doesn't give them
Hmm.
anything extra. It just means they know what they're doing
Yeah.
with this champion, as opposed
Yeah.
to like, oh, I've never played this person before. And sometimes they have beginner's luck because I'm like, oh, I like this guy. He's really good. So
Yeah. And with your like 150 champions, as you level them up, do they stay that level? And then they like, you don't ever
yeah, the
lose the
max level
progress you've
is
made, right?
18. Max
Okay.
level is 18 during a game. Once you're level 18, then you're like your champion's maxed out all their abilities, and then it's just pure skill at that point.
Hmm.
So
And then like in terms of the characters themselves, I'm like making an assumption here. There's going to be like people who have swords. There's characters who have like bows and arrows. There's people who are magic or whatever, right?
mhm.
And you
And
just, and
there's
yeah, go on.
yeah, no, and yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
there's people who can shield, there's people who can heal, there's people who can just I don't even know. There's so many different things. They have like hooks, like kind of like scorpion, get over here.
Cool.
And they can do that. And then yeah, and there's tanks and they have everybody's abilities are pretty unique and it's
Hmm.
crazy. They can snare people, they can trap people, they can
Hmm.
it's just the mechanics is crazy when you think about it. It's like how is this game free for one thing, and how is it like just so like complex? But
And you know what's really amazing about League of Legends? Like, I know if you go back to like 12 years, it's probably been around longer than that now, right? But
I think it started in 2009 or something. So
okay, so it's been around for a hot minute. So coming up onto what, 15 years, almost 20 maybe?
mhm.
But like they got in at that sweet spot because now like games that start that don't have like famous IP or recognizable characters like often don't stick. So
Yeah,
like for League of Legends to come in, it's not based on like, a known IP or whatever. They, obviously it probably borrows from like Lord of the Rings or whatever. Like I feel like it's kind of borrowing from some of those vibes maybe, but
it has everything. It's weird. It's like it's so
is
weird.
it?
There's like those little animated looking characters, and then there's regular archers, regular gunslingers, and then there's like a vampire, and then there's like a fish and then there's a bird that flies named Anivia, and she's like, and then she talks. I don't know. It's just there's this, so it's just a weird, it's just a weird game, and they have all these different characters. They're really cute ones, they have really scary ones, but it's just a world, and they all combine, and they even have a show on Netflix called Arcane. So it's like,
Oh, is
and
that part of League of Legends?
yeah, it's on
Oh,
season two
I
now.
know that show. Oh, right. Okay. Okay. So they're like expanding and they've like, I mean, of course they
And
would,
which
right?
is
Because
what
it's
was
so
always my
massive.
dream. It was always my dream playing. I was like, oh, I love these characters. And I said, and I love the lore. And I'm like, oh, okay. I would love to see this become like a thing. Like
A
I want
show.
to know
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
about this character because I love her so much or whatever.
Oh,
And now they
wow.
do, but not all the
Okay.
characters are in the show. So
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of 150
yeah,
characters. It's tough to write for
exactly.
170. So as somebody who's never played it, what are you, how do I even get into it? And do you think given how long it's been out and the huge following it has, like, is it something that, like, if a listener's out there going, like, I've heard of League of Legends, you know, like, I might want to dip my toe in the water and try it out. Like, can people just jump in, or is it like Fortnite where you're just going to get
Absolutely.
killed
Like,
right away, right?
I mean, yes, but the thing is too is that when you first start, like, so there's several levels. So you yourself as a player, not as a champion, but as like the gamer, you have your own level, and it'll match you with similar level people. So like, not everybody knows what they're doing. So I've remade an account because when I'm in the UK, the server I get attached to with my old account is in the US. So it has to go like to the
Oh,
US and then come back to the UK, and it's too hard, and I have lag and ping and all this crazy stuff. So I made
okay,
a new
okay.
account in the UK so I can play in the UK, and it's so much better. But I had to start over.
Oh,
So
okay,
I
okay.
was like, okay, so I'm playing, like, I'm brand new. I'm playing against these people. I'm killing everybody. I'm like, these people are so stupid. Like, what are they doing? Like, he's just standing there shooting me, thinking he's gonna kill me, and I'm like, okay, die. And then like, they don't know what they're doing, and it's funny because and so yeah, so there's people who make new accounts that will kill you. But if you have everybody who's brand new, they kind of will
Sure.
be like in the same level and everything. And then once you progress and you kind of learn more, and you're like, oh, don't do that again. So
There is a part of me that's curious about things like League of Legends or those MOBA games that you mentioned. But there's also and the reason why I'm curious is because I think my personality would really fall for them, which I'm also scared of because I can get like hyper focused and addicted to something. So there is a little part of me that goes like, I don't know if I even want to try, because if I get sucked into that, then that's all I'm going to like play and get addicted to. And then like
well,
suddenly I can't pay my mortgage this month because I've spent all my money in League of Legends and I have to like,
you don't have so the one thing I spend my money on the most is like they have different skins for different champions. I'm like, oh, that looks
okay,
badass, and they have
right.
different voices sometimes. So I was really into it. Now I don't care anymore, but I used to
Oh, okay.
care.
That's good to know. So like all of the stuff that you spend your money on is mostly cosmetics or like,
Yeah,
you know,
unless you really want a new, if you unless you really want that champion, and you don't have enough money, you're just like, whatever, I'm gonna pay for it. So
fine. Okay. 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 So League of Legends. All right. So something you've been playing. I mean, that's pretty spectacular. Like you've been playing that for 12 years and you got all your characters and then like, and I love that for you. Like, I love
I
that
have
it's like,
nothing to show for it.
except for fun. No, but you have like oh, stop it. I mean, don't do that, because then there's the whole existential question of like, what are we actually
What is
doing
this
playing
all?
video
What is
games
this all
for?
this for?
Don't take this away from me, Mike. This means something to me.
What is this
Um,
podcast even here for?
yeah, exactly. Um,
Okay,
uh,
enough about me though. Like, what have you been playing?
well, I was just to round that out, because what I love about that long journey is when something then gets turned into a TV show. I just think that's so
Oh
cool
yeah,
because
that
you
is
get to
cool.
like see your characters and stuff like start come to life and things. So,
Just like with
yeah,
Mario.
yeah. Well, yeah, that movie. I have thoughts about that movie. Um, yeah, League of Legends. Okay, maybe Mike. I don't know if I'm completely sold, but I will
You
look it
should start
up.
with
Yeah.
the app, that game on the iPhone, because that'll
Yeah,
be
maybe
a
that's it.
nice
That's
introduction.
yeah. And then just
And
for
not
the listeners
everybody
out
can
there,
click their mouse like I can. So
and remind the listeners what your name is on League of Legends so they can
Maldi, Malldee.
Malldee. Check him out, join him, go on a raid, get in your lane, be a tank, be a mage, be a champion, be
The
a lead, be a
champion.
legend, be a
It
legend. Oh, good stuff, Mike. Okay, so switching gears now. I'm gonna break down a couple of games I've been playing.
Yeah.
So two very different games, but actually two really so much fun I've had with these two games, and I'm so glad I like made myself sit down and play them. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Animal Well. It ended up being my favorite game of 2024.
Animal what?
Animal Well,
Okay.
Animal Well. And it is this. It's like a Metroidvania. Or
Mhm.
I heard somebody call it a Metroid Brainia, which I love that we now get a new, like new cobbled together genre of these things. And I think it actually works though, because so, okay, here's the story. There really is no story. You basically,
What console is this on?
Oh, it's on I think it's on all the consoles. You've got
Multiple?
it on PS5, Xbox. It's on Switch. You can get it on Switch.
Yeah.
It's a really simplistic, like beautiful retro art style, like sprite based,
Okay.
uh, but really kind of creepy and eerie. I love the atmosphere. Billy Blasio, I think, is the guy, and it's made by one guy, um, designed and developed by one guy, but he also had a team around him helping him with a few things, I think. Uh, but it's just like it just hooked me from the second you started. So, like a lot of games, and because I'm going to talk about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle in just a moment. Like that game, like takes you along, right? It sort of takes you from beat to beat. But
Okay.
Animal Well was just very brave. Like you started the game, you are this like little blob of a character. You get no exposition, you get no backstory, and you basically are hatched out of this little flower, these leaves, and then suddenly you just start moving left to right, and you go, okay, well, I'm going to go to the next screen. So it's like room based. You know how you go to what?
It's a very indie game, right?
Yeah, very very much an indie game. Yeah, very very much, very simple, um, and not a lot of on the surface. There aren't a lot of mechanics. You can run and you can jump at the start.
Okay.
But as you go through, you start to discover different power-ups and things, but they're not like traditional power-ups, which I'll get into a little bit more
So there's
as
no
I go through it.
story in the beginning. You're just discovering. You're creating the story as you go. You're learning
Yeah.
about what this world is, and
Uh, uh-huh. Yeah.
as
And
you
it's
go.
all
Okay.
just really beautifully like I said, pixel art and 16-bit kind of vibe graphics, if you will.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, And you fall down this well. That's why it's like a water well, if you will. But you go
Hmm.
down, and then there's animals there, and you go into like as you start like uncovering the map, and start uncovering the rooms. It's all about trial and error, right? So you might walk into a room, and it's like, what am I supposed to do here? And as you walk in a little bit more, like a crow flies down and grabs you and kills you, and you go, okay, well, why did that happen, and why couldn't I defend myself? So you go to that room, and then you start to like environmentally look around the room, and you go, okay, well, there's a little gap here.
Yeah.
As you start to understand the language of the design choices in terms of the art form, like, oh, there's some moss over here. What's in that moss? Oh, and then you walk in the moss, and suddenly, like, there's a tiny little tunnel where the bird can't get you, so you can like bypass the birds. So you start to understand the language of the design choices and the
So like
art
it allows you to
style.
so you have to die in order to learn, basically.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, if there's like somebody out there who could play this game out without dying the first time, like they are probably like the ultimate gamer. But I am not that. I died so many
You have to
times,
be a
but I
psychic to know that.
that's true. Yeah, probably one of the developers. But I don't know. There's probably, I mean, sidebar. There's some really like fucking cool gamers out there who like figure shit out. I don't know how they do it. They're just magic. Um, so yeah, so you start to like and there's no like barrier to like go wherever you want. It's kind of like the Zelda vibe. You can go whichever direction you want, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
But you'll suddenly find out, oh, I can't reach this platform, so I'm not ready to go here yet. So I got to backtrack and figure out where I need to go. Um, and I think what really stood out for me in this one, because there's a lot of Metroidvanias out there, but I think what really stood out for me and grabbed me was just the pure atmosphere. There's like barely any music, and there's only like little drips of sound, so it's kind of creepy, but there's not like scary, but it does have creepy vibes, which I
Okay.
love. You're very alone, and you're just you and your little blob trying to figure stuff out, and I actually liked dying in this because I felt like that was part of the puzzle, like that was part of playing the game, that you needed to die to figure out that you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
um and there's part of me that doesn't want to say like too much about it because I love the sense of discovery. For the most part, I got through the whole game without looking at a guide, but there was a few times I was like, I can't figure this
Sometimes you
out, so I'm
have
going to look it
to.
up. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to, and I don't consider it cheating. So
Mm-mm. No, I don't either. I'm totally fine with
because if you
that.
don't, it's like you won't enjoy the game, and what's the point? Like you
Uh-huh.
want to enjoy the game, so like if you have to look it up, then
Hmm.
whatever. But
But I think, yeah, and I'm totally with you on that. But I think what I loved about this game, and I don't know if you have this experience when you game. Sometimes you like you're stuck somewhere, and then you just got to go. You know what? I'm going to put the controller down. I'm going to come back in 45 minutes, or I'm going to come back the next day, And then just by coming back the next day, it's like, oh, this is how you do it, right? And
Exactly.
you like, why didn't I see that
100%.
yesterday? That for
Candy
me,
Crush.
yeah. But that for me, I think that is really awesome game design because
No, for
it's,
sure.
it's not, they're not going to give you spoon feed you. And if you just allow your brain to kind of like stop trying to think and let it rewire a little bit and, and come at it from a different thing, from a different, with a different mindset the next day or whenever you come back to playing the game. That for me is like when I go, oh yeah, this is why video games are great, right? So this game was that all over the place, and it was just so good to experience. The character designs were so good of all the different enemies. The sound effects of the enemies, oh my gosh, there were some of the like most creepy outer world sound effects that you could imagine. And I mean, it's just so good. I can't recommend it enough for people. Like if you have PlayStation Premium as part of your PS5, it's free. You can just download it as part. Well, it's not free, but you can just download it because you're a paid service. But even spend the money on it. Like literally spend the money, play this game. Don't be afraid of like using a guide if you need to, but just like get stuck into this game because like here's one thing that really is so cool about it. So like it's all trial and error, right? And you get one of the items that you get early on is a frisbee. And you think like, okay, well, you got to just figure out.
What is your character? What animal is it?
It's not even an animal. It's like a little blob. It's like a little round blob. That's it.
Okay.
So you get a frisbee, and then you are you come into a room where there's a dog, right? But you can't jump over the dog because your jump's not high enough. And if you try to, the dog will bite you and kill you, right?
So you have to distract it with the frisbee?
You have to distract him with the frisbee, right? So there's one use for it. And you figure that out, you go, okay, really cool. But then on accident, I figured out a second use for it. But I don't even want to say what the use of the frisbee is. But it became a traversal item because it got me over the dogs, over to another part of the room in a way that I was like, fucking yes, this is so cool. Like I just happened on accident.
I already know what you can do.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
you throw the frisbee and you probably use it to jump off of.
Well, I could just tell you, it's like it's been out for a while. You jump on it because it will bounce into certain areas, right? You have to like strategically throw the frisbee so it'll bounce off the wall and then bounce off another part of the wall. And then you jump on the frisbee and it takes you over to another part of the room, right?
Oh, nice.
So suddenly you've got this like whole new way of traversing these areas that you were like, how am I ever going to get there? And again, on and on and on, this happens over and over and over again with the items that you get. And there's not loads of items, right? But there's just enough that you keep discovering on the way. It took me probably about 15 hours of play to get through it. But I just loved it. And the graphical effects are so cool. And if you have a PlayStation 5, like they really use the DualSense controller really well. You can feel all the different like, all the different elements within the game. They really use it in a way that makes it worth using because I don't think enough developers have leaned into that DualSense controller well enough. But Animal Well, just so freaking good. There's more on the website. You can check it out, the review I wrote. But my favorite game of 2024, and there was a lot of good games last year. So check it out, Animal Well. If you're a Metroidvania or a Metroidbrania person, look at it. Just like beautiful to look at. Just sit there and look at it. So freaking beautiful. Cool. Okay. The other game I want to talk about that I've been playing that I completed recently was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Have you seen this game, Mike? Have you come across it at all?
I have not.
No? Okay.
So as somebody who doesn't really have a console other than a Switch, I have PlayStation 4, but I just don't have time to play at home. So it's hard for me. So I haven't seen stuff like that. But
yeah, that's the thing. So right now it's only on Xbox, but it's just about to be released for PlayStation because it's one of the Xbox Studios Machine Games who did this.
Okay.
They've been acquired by Xbox as part of their Xbox Studios and stuff. But that also, I think we need to get you a Steam Deck, Mike, because I think you'd be able to play more of these games on the Steam Deck with all your travels.
Like that. It's just It's just something else.
Yeah, I know. Or like when we come to Switch 2, like maybe Switch
I could bring
2
like a laptop with me. I'm sure this game's probably on computer if it's Xbox.
Yeah, you can play it on Xbox Game Pass or PC, yeah. But okay, so Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, when it was first shown off, I was like, oh, because it's first person. And I hate first person games. Like I don't like Doom. I don't
I
like
love Doom.
Halo and all that stuff. Like I've tried to play it, but like I just hate first person games. I want to see my character. I don't know why, but psychologically, it's just more fun for me.
You're okay with it if it's the same exact game, but if it's third person, where you can see them running like this. And
yes, I want to see them. I want to see
like
it,
that
right?
too.
Yeah, and I think especially for Indiana Jones, like they did so good at making the way they've designed these characters, it looks exactly like Harrison Ford when he was younger.
Okay.
It was just so good, and I was like, oh, I want to see more of them. But the game jumps in and out of first person and third person at the right time, but it like flirts with it just enough that I was like, oh, I'll stay in third person. However, I'm glad I didn't let that like my hatred for first person games get in the way, because this was such a fucking cool game. It is so good. And the kind of like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is it's better than a lot of the movies that have been released recently. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. So it's like, it's set in between.
So this isn't based on a particular movie at all. It's its own story.
It's its own story, right? And they've done a really smart thing by going back to like some of the between the original trilogy. So the first one is Raiders of the Lost Ark, and the second one is Temple of Doom. And they set it in between those two stories. And there's a really great intro just to kind of like get you a sense that you're in that time period. You remember the scene, the classic Indiana Jones scenes where he takes the idol that he finds and then the big ball starts chasing him and he has to jump over the fence, right? So yeah. So like that's the opener, right? And you get to play that.
Oh, nice.
And it was really cool. Oh my God, the graphics on this thing are incredible. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, you've got your whip, you've got your hat, and it's just, they really make you feel like you're Indiana Jones. Cool. I heard a lot of people like saying this when they were playing. I was like, oh really? Like, you do really feel like it? But they fucking nailed it. The team over there have got it down just right. You've got your whip, which you can use to like traverse things, reach places, swing across gaps, or you can use it to like knock guns out of the enemy's hands or trip them or whatever. So it's got all the hallmarks of the Indiana Jones film, but you get to play with it. You've obviously got the hat, and there'll be definitely times throughout the story where you lose your hat and you find it, and right. So it captures the humor really well. It captures the thing about the Indiana Jones films is that it's doesn't take itself too seriously, right? And I think that's one of the things that makes it so good. Like it goes for high adventure, goes for crazy stuff, but it also allows for like quippy, dry humor from Indiana throughout.
Yeah, for sure.
They've nailed, like you can tell the developers really love Indiana Jones. So in a nutshell, for this game, you play as Indiana Jones, and there is this thing. Why
is the circle so grim? What is this?
Exactly? We're about to find out. So, and I'm not going to go too deep into the story because I think the story is the best part about this game that kept me going along. So I really want everybody to try and experience it for themselves, or even go watch a let's play on it or something if you don't have the time to play it yourself. But it's worth it because. So here's what I'll say about the story. So it's pre-World War II, and the Nazis are back at it, and there is and Hitler's like sent off Emmerich Voss, who is the kind of bad guy in this one, who's really well, he's a great character. He really nails it. So Emmerich Voss is going around the globe looking for particular artifacts. And one of them happens to be at the college that Indiana works at. And so somebody has broken in from Emmerich Voss's team, or his cronies has broken into the museum where, I'm sorry, at the college where Indiana is a professor, and stolen one of these artifacts. And so that's what sends Indy on his way, because he's like, oh, I need to go find this artifact. Like, why are they doing this? And you come to find out that there are certain artifacts that have been attached to places of historical significance around the globe, right? So there's one in Giza where the pyramids are. There is one in other parts. I'm not going to say exactly where because it's fun to discover.
Okay.
But when you look at their like placement on the globe, around the globe, they make a perfect circle around the globe, right? So that's where you get the thing about the Great Circle. But there are things as you discover that are associated with the Great Circle that are mystic and have kind of otherworldly powers associated with them. And you go along your journey to stop Imric Voss from collecting all these artifacts, because once you collect all of them, then you have the power.
He's like Thanos.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's kind of like a Thanos vibe. So if he gets all these things, he's got all the power to like, give obviously to Hitler and to the Nazi Party and all that kind of stuff. So Indiana is our hero that's going out of his way to stop him. So I'll leave it there with the story, but the way that they did cutscenes, the way they organically like had the story connect through each of the different places that you visit around the globe, all of it just felt so seamless and so interesting and just kept pulling me along. And one of the hallmarks of Indiana Jones, if you've seen the films, is that like there's always traps or booby traps or things that he has to figure out on how to solve. They weave all of those puzzles organically into each of these places. So you don't feel like you're like, oh, I'm going over to pull this lever because I need to pull this lever. It's like, no, it works with each location that it's in like, really well.
Lever.
Yeah, something like that. Totally. Yeah, there is all that stuff that happens, right? So, they did a really good job of like making the game genuinely feel like you're playing a movie, and it's just so good.
You're right.
It's not perfect though. Like, I didn't.
How many hours of gameplay did it take you?
It was about 35 hours overall.
Okay, so good amount.
Yeah, good amount of time. Some of the games, some of the puzzles were a little obtuse. Like you couldn't see where a lever was, and I had to like go like, what the hell am I doing? Like I'd done everything, and then the final thing you couldn't see it. So that could have been done better. Not every area was created equal. Some of them were more fun to be in than others, but overall, like it was just really well executed. Something to say here is the first person fighting mechanics. So it's a very stealthy game, right? So you go to places and you will have to hide, sort of like Metal Gear Solid or something like that, or even Deus. Yeah, I think if you like stealth, you're gonna love this game. Or Deus Ex. Did you ever play that one? No, that was really good.
Oh, wait. Is that the samurai one? Never mind.
Sort of. Yeah. More cyberpunk kind of thing.
It was, but I don't think it's the one. So anyway.
No. But so it's really stealthy, and you have to like go into certain areas to look for, a key or a treasure or something, right? But there's enemies around. But they've littered like stuff around, like a shovel or a fly swatter or anything that would naturally be in the environment, and you can almost pick up pretty much everything and like use it as a weapon. So you can like pick up everything from a fly swatter, and it will like when you hit the Nazi with it, they'll go, what? Like you don't really hit them, but if you picked up a jackhammer or a sledgehammer and you hit it with them, then it goes like and it really knocks them down. So like each weapon or item you find actually like isn't just like a generic hit, like it actually has its own animation and stuff. So it made it a lot of fun to be like, oh, I want to try to hit with this. And the sound of the punch was really good too. Like it was really, you really hit it and connect it. So yeah, really satisfying in that way. But I don't think that, the mechanics of the fighting and stuff really nailed it. So, on the review score for Addison Gaming, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Like if it was just the story, it's a 10 out of 10.
That was very Tomb Raider-y.
Yeah. It's definitely that. It's
Tomb
definitely
Raider is
that.
third person.
Exactly.
Can you choose first person in Tomb Raider?
I can't remember. I don't know.
Yeah. So you wish it was third person. That would have made it so much better.
I wish it was third person. Yeah, I really do. But it wasn't. But I understand why they did it as I played through, because I genuinely was like, I'm Indiana right now, because everything was my perspective and people talk to you. So it was fine. But I'm glad I went all the way through. I do need to give a shout out to the voice acting. Troy Baker sounds just like Harrison Ford as a younger person. Give that man an Oscar. It is a shame on the Oscars or whatever that there is not like voice acting in video game, right? Like, or whatever.
Isn't there a video game award thing?
There is video game awards, but like they need it in the Oscars now. They need
Okay.
performances in the Oscars because this guy nailed it. He was so good. He sounds just like Indiana. All the characters were really well acted. Just a great game. Check it out.
They just
Don't
put
sleep on
a
it.
lot into it. So it sounds
Yeah.
like it was their baby and they loved it. So
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and just
Amazing.
beautiful to look at. So yeah, I did a longer form review on the website. So check it out and see what we think. So woo! Oh man, Mike, you got me excited. I love talking about games. That's fun. That's fun. Check it out. Okay. So let's switch gears now to our feature of this episode. Thoughts, predictions, hopes, fears for Switch 2. Yeah, Mike, we've got Switch 2 coming out. So
I'm excited.
Give me your top 3 predictions of what you think is going to happen with
Lord.
Switch 2.
I don't know. So yeah, I'm just super excited. I mean, it's all the predictions. I feel like people have been nailing it from the beginning, even before it was even like that trailer was released.
With all the leaks.
Yeah, nobody's confirmed yet that I know of that those little the Joy-Cons are gonna be mice like mouse like mechanics, but just the trailer makes me feel like it will be, which gives it so much more opportunity for other games to be played on there. And I don't know, I kind of I just want to play with it already. But so yeah, so I want them to be mouse, mice, double mice. I don't know. So that's one of my things I think will be cool to see that mechanic, and just it would change the way I play like Minecraft or the way I play other games that are kind of annoying to play with the Joy-Cons. So I think that would be really cool.
And you know that there's like some patents have like been discovered about the mice, so they've pretty much all but said it that it's true, but like they haven't officially said it, but like
I'm curious because
so
you
cool.
know how Nintendo's so good at like creating weird, like for example when they came out the action, because I have the race cars of Mario and Luigi, the actual race car. You know when they came out that like how did they figuring that out? Like this was just random, or with the cardboard whatever thing. Nintendo Lab, like all these things you can do with it, like it's just like cool. So
yeah, Nintendo's their best when they really like create weird stuff with their experiences. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like so that's true. So you're a Minecraft player?
I have dabbled with it on the Nintendo Switch, but I just thought it was too complicated to play. It didn't click for me that well on the Switch, and so on the computer though, no problem. But I feel like those mechanics would help with certain games. So
totally, yeah. I mean, so much would be opened up. How many first-person shooters could happen if there's a mouse? If there's a mouse there, right? Like so many things would
or just even like a segue into a part of a game where you have to put like a puzzle together and makes it like just easier, not easier, but like more feel like you're really doing it. Like I don't know. So,
but like thinking about though from a practical perspective, like not to yuck this yum here, but like like how is that going to work? Like like we're talking, where we're gonna like take our controllers off the side and then like suddenly like let me get my tray table down and like I mean Nintendo will figure out the way to do it.
They'll make it worth it, okay?
But that's the whole point about these gimmicks though, because there's sometimes with certain gimmicks that it happens in one game and then it never gets picked up again. So I mean, I hope it's not that for this, because I think there is something really cool about it. Yeah. The Wii U. Hey, I am a huge. I will support the Wii U for the rest of my life. I loved that system, but it did not stick the landing. Obviously, the Switch did.
Yes. No. So it's like I think those would definitely be nice.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to go out on a limb and predict that. I know it's going to be backward compatible. But I also will predict that there will be graphic enhancements, like really good ones for games we already own. We don't have to rebuy crap. I don't want to rebuy anything. So.
Okay, so you think that part of the compatibility is like yeah. Do you remember? So you didn't have the Wii U, but what they did. This is not the exact same thing. So I'm gonna kind of split the difference with you here, because I think yes, they're gonna like say like here's your Breath of the Wild, like we were talking about earlier. Like, here's your Breath of the Wild. If you want to pay $10 or £10 or whatever, then you can now get the kind of enhanced graphic version of that, right?
I don't know.
You think they're going to be nice and give it away?
So here's how I see it. So with the Quest 3, for example, the Quest 2 was out, and all the games were made for the Quest 2. And then Quest 3 came out, and all the games looked kind of crappy on the Quest 3, or looked the same compared to the newer games. So they all redid the graphics and made it compatible with the Quest 3, and now the graphics are amazing, like on the games that weren't graphically amazing. So, and it was included. It was free. It was I paid for the game already, so it was like, so I don't know.
Well,
it can be done.
No, it totally can be done. And, if you think about how the consumer works nowadays, like, we just expect everything to work on our iPhone and just, go over and look better because the screen looks better. But like, video gamers are, it's a weirder industry though. It's not comparing apples to apples, right? And I think they're just trying to, I don't have as nice of a hope that Nintendo is going to give us anything for free. I think they're going to try and milk us dry, but
Nintendo has half my income, so it's fine.
Well, what was it? Because earlier, just real quick on that note, early on, because remember when the Switch first came out, like all those indie games that you can get for free on Steam. I'm not on Steam, but everybody talks about like when you pay like 35 cents for a game on Steam, which you pay like $15 for, or 15 quid for on the like. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, let's see. Anyways, go on. What's your third prediction?
And then the last thing I'm going to say is what game's going to be released with it. I think two games. Two games.
Go on.
I think for sure be a new Mario Kart. There has to be a new Mario Kart. There hasn't been a new Mario Kart, and so there.
Yeah.
New Mario
but that
Kart.
One's in the you've seen the trailer, right? Because at the end you can see it there. So there is like they have shown a tiny bit. I think that's the only first party
and the
game
Donkey Kong. If you've noticed, the Donkey Kong in that trailer is the Donkey Kong from the Mario movies, not Donkey Kong from Mario Kart. So he looks a little different. So I think it is a new game.
Yeah.
Also, I think Metroid Prime 4. So it's time. Time. Metroid, whatever it's called, I don't know.
I think I agree with you on that with Metroid Prime 4. I wonder though, because that one's been like told this one's going to be a Switch game. I think it's going to be cross-gen, and they're going to do that, like upgrade graphical enhancements, like you've said.
It's been in development for so long that it's time. I'm ready.
I am so ready to play some Metroid 4. It's going to be so good.
The only thing they released on the Switch that was new was Dread, and which was amazing.
Yeah, that was really good.
But like, there hasn't been like a proper Metroid game. Like I want it to be like Breath of the Wild. Honestly, I want you to be able to instead of you just transporting to another planet, I want you to be like you have to fly through the air and discover. Yeah. I don't know, like, have you played No Man's Sky? No Man's Sky. Have you played that?
Yeah, I have.
That. You just kind of like just traveling and getting to the planet. That's how I want Metroid to be. So we'll see.
Yeah, so the Breath of the Wildification of Metroid, or whatever that means, right?
Breath of the Wild, like the space version of it. So
yeah, could you? Oh my gosh, you got my like excitement, like excitement up for this, because I think I absolutely love Metroid. I think it's probably one of my most favorite series of Nintendo.
It is one
and the remastered looks so good. The Metroid Prime remastered looked amazing on the Switch.
I loved it.
So yeah, I think you think that's going to be a launch title? I do too. I think that'll be a launch title. And they're going to do that thing. So you remember when they released the Wii and the GameCube, they had that kind of crossover with Twilight Princess, where it was on the GameCube and the Wii. I think it's going to be like that here. Oh, and they did the same thing with Breath of the Wild. It was on the Wii U and the Switch. Yeah, so I think this is going to be that title.
It needs to be.
Yeah. Okay. So
what are you thinking? What are your hopes? What are your dreams? What are your predictions?
So I think I'd agree with you on all the things that you said. I think for me, my hopes are just like, I just want it to be a little bit more comfortable. Like, the current Switch is in the buttons and stuff. I know it's getting a little bigger because you can see it from the thing, but the current Switch, it just cramps a little bit in there in my hands when I'm playing it for a long time.
How many of us have those extra, like, you put your Switch into it so you just be more comfortable holding it? So,
no, I don't have that. I don't have that.
I have like 4 different versions of that.
Oh, do you? Are they any good?
Oh, yeah. I mean, every single one I have has just been an improvement on my carpal tunnel. I have long fingers, so it's like it's nice to have just that extra grip to hold on to.
Yeah. Yeah, so
But
definitely
yes,
want
I
just
hope
I
it's
just want
more
a little bit
comfortable.
more comfortability factor. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So is this your prediction or is it just your want?
That is that's a hope. That's one of my
It's a
hopes.
hope.
Yeah. So one of my predictions is this. What we don't know is the storage medium for it right now, right? So
Okay.
of course the carts are going to work from the old Switch, but one of the things I've gotten used to that I hate playing my Switch after I've played the Xbox Series X or S or the PlayStation 5 is the load times are instant on those, right? And the load
Yeah,
times are forever on the Switch. So
that's true.
I know like the rumors are and the kind of stuff that people are discovering on the internet is that there's been like a new type of storage medium or a faster one that's been created
Hmm.
for it. So I'm hoping load times are kind of like non-existent because for me
That
it's
would be
just like I
nice.
want to get in and jump in
Like
because
loading
one of the
Breath of the Wild, you're just like, oh my god, he's just running across and wait for him to
uh-huh
get to the other end or whatever it is. And
yeah, I mean it's
uh,
not forever, but once you know how load times can happen, you never want to go back. You're just like don't do it to me. So I
I
want those
agree.
faster load times. Um, I think you know, I'm really hoping that the third party support shows up on first day because I think all the Nintendo first party games are going to be great. But like, I really want there just to be this like deluge of really great games like Baldur's Gate 3 that was like I've got it on my my Series X, but like I never play it because it's such a long invested game that I want to take that with me on my trips. I really just want to sit there and play it on my Switch or Cyberpunk 2077. I want them to get that to work on there, right?
Okay.
So just all of these like really, really great games, like an Elden Ring as well, like just all that stuff. I want them to come like right out the gate being like, here you go, month one,
Day
day one or
one.
whatever, like Elden Ring's on there, Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077. I would just be like, yes, come on Switch
You're
2.
like no
Because
dips in frame rate, just perfect. Just on there, just
yeah,
plays it nicely. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, I think they're going to have to do some like magic wizardry with it because like,
I
I
mean,
don't
they have
know.
No Man's Sky on the Switch, and they made that work. Although it does take forever to load sometimes, but they
Yeah,
made it was like it works. Like it
that's the
works.
thing. Well, they've even got like Doom and Doom Eternal and stuff. Like
Yeah, I
they
have
can do
that.
some stuff.
It's fun.
Yeah.
No,
And
but
it's,
like they're able to do it now. So I think this one is just it'll just work. Like plug and play. Boom.
yeah, I hope so. I really do. I mean, I know that like Nintendo's not like known for having the most powerful system. So I'm hedging, like I'm keeping my like expectations low that it's not going to be like, as powerful as a PS4 or something. But,
But people are
technology is
saying that
different.
it is going to be as powerful as, if not more than the PS4, which I'm like great, like more. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't, but I hope the battery lasts long. I want the battery life to be really good because like I don't want to have to be plugging that shit into a wall every day. Or I mean
yeah,
every minute. And then the last thing that I think I know. So they have said the rumors are sorry, they haven't said the rumors are is that it's going to be an LCD screen.
okay.
Because I've got the OLED one. That OLED is beautiful.
Yeah,
Like I
I
could just
have that.
look
I've
at it for a
upgraded to
day.
that one too.
Yeah. So like it feels like it's going to be a step back, apparently, or that it's sounding like if this is the case. But however, on the PlayStation Portal that I have that I mentioned earlier,
Is that
like
LCD?
that's an LCD screen. It looks gorgeous. So like technology is like not what it was in 2017. Obviously, it's 2025 now. So I think the screen's gonna be pretty good, and I hope it's 1080. I really want a 1080 portable screen
Hmm.
because I just think that's just gonna make it look delicious, and it's gonna feel really comfortable because all of my predictions are gonna come true and they're gonna
Of course.
manifest. Um,
I just want it
and
to be an iPhone. Actually, just give me just put that Switch right here. Like whatever.
just be a
Hello.
phone. And then last thing, Mike, how much is this thing gonna cost? Come on, what's it gonna be?
$350.
Do you think $350?
$349.99. I will pay
349.99.
$500 for it though. I don't care. I already have the money set aside.
I think I don't think it's going to be 349. I think it's going to be $400 or 400 pounds, and it could go up to 450 if they want to offer like a more storage space one, like instead of like 64 gigabytes, they give you 128 or something. I
But
don't
doesn't
know.
it take an SD card? The last one took an
It
SD card.
does. Yeah,
So
it does take SD
I have hundreds
cards,
of those just laying around.
Well,
But
the only reason I think because it just depends on the medium I was talking about earlier, right? So if this thing does have an SSD, right, built in that can make the transfer and the loading times basically non-existent, then that might be something that you have to buy your like 64 or 128. Because then the SD cards that we use currently, that's not the same technology. So you'll be able to put it in, but it won't affect the loading times, right? So yeah, I guess it just depends on that. And I think, I mean, look, especially in the US with like tariffs and stuff, like, are they going to be able to charge only $349 if those tariffs go through? Like, yeah.
Stop making me sad.
No, sad. Just,
I'm buying
new
it in
games.
London. Screw it. Well, yeah, I'll be in London at the time. So yeah.
And when do you think it's going to come out?
So I think so. It's announced April 2nd. I mean, the direct is April 2nd. So
Yeah.
I think pre-orders will go on sale. Like pre-order it will go on sale that week. Like the pre-orders will happen that week.
Mm-hmm.
What day is April 2nd? It's like a Tuesday.
It's like, I think it's a Wednesday or
Wednesday.
Yeah,
okay,
it's a Wednesday.
So pre-sale will start that very next week or that weekend or something.
Yeah.
And it'll be able to be picked up May 1st.
You think May 1st? That's a fast turnaround. Okay, so prediction here, you got it, listeners.
It's gonna happen. Like it's gonna be like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, kind of like Apple does, right? Yeah, you get a project. Okay, so Magic Mike Maldonado, May 1st is your prediction for the Switch 2 release, and you're only going to pay $349 for it because that's been your prediction.
Yeah, and if it's not that much, I'm still paying that much for it. So
that's true. I'm going to pay whatever they charge me, right? Because I'm going to get it. Exactly. I think May 1st is ambitious. I do think I like what you said about like, here's the trailer on the 2nd of April with the direct. And I think pre-orders are probably open like the day of, or like you said, that week. I'm good with that. I think this is probably more of like early June. Okay. So that you get about like a 6-week or maybe just under 2-week window. So people can like, get their pre-orders in or, budget really quickly or whatever.
Pre-orders just to are going to be sold out like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I better get one. Oh, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. So
I'm going to be like up all night just clicking like I'm trying to buy concert tickets.
Yeah, exactly. Like when we were trying to get Glastonbury tickets. Oh my gosh. So stressful.
Exactly. Yeah. Stress.
Oh, there you have it, ladies and gents. So our thoughts and excitement around the Switch 2. I just am ready for it to be here. There's been so many rumors and leaks and all that stuff. I'm just tired of talking about it and listen about it. Like, let's have it out. Yeah. I mean, that is the thing.
Do you remember like 3 years ago, we were like, oh, it's going to come out this year. It's going to come out this year.
Yeah. And I think, like a lot of the other podcasts I listen to, like Giant Bomb or Jeff Grubb stuff, he's said this a few times where he has said, and Nate the Hate, he's great. If listeners out there haven't heard him, go listen to him. He's got insight. I don't know who he knows, but he knows people. But anyways, they were saying that like, this has been ready for quite some time, but they didn't release it because they didn't do a Pro, and they thought, oh, let's just turn the Pro into Switch 2. And then they were like, let's find the right time to release it. So they've been sitting on this for a little bit, and I think just tinkering away at some of the technology and things. So, yeah, I think it was all supposed to come out a few years ago, but now they've waited until now. So, but there we go. Well, not long now to wait.
I'm excited.
Hopefully.
Nintendo's so innovative that I feel like it's going to be everything I've ever wanted
and more. And I'm going to love it because I'm such a Nintendo stan. They can do no wrong, and I'm just going to be obsessed with it. So yeah, get ready, listeners, because next or after the launch video, Mike and I are gonna get back on the podcast and share our reactions to everything that's been announced, and just fanboy and geek out over the fact that we are getting closer and closer to a Switch 2 release, which is great.
Heck yeah,
absolutely. Okay, Mike, anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I'm good.
Mike, we did it. First episode.
Yay!
Thank you so much, and listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Mike, where can people find you on social media if they want to follow you?
Well, I should probably make a new account, but yeah, Mike Maldy at Mike Maldy, Maldy is that one.
Mike Maldy, Maldy. We'll put that in the show notes. And you can find us, listeners, on Blue Sky. Is it the same for you, Maldy? Both.
Mike Maldy on Instagram, yes.
Okay, Mike Maldy on Instagram. Okay,
cool. I don't really have anything else.
Okay, yeah. There's so much. Oh gosh. So yeah, for Out of Sync, if you want to follow Out of Sync Gaming, you can find us on Instagram at Out of Sync Gaming, or on Blue Sky, the same Out of Sync Gaming, and that's OUT of SYNC Gaming, just so that's clear. Check out our website, outofsyncgaming.co.uk. You can read some of the reviews we talked about for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle and Animal Well. Mike, we're going to get you writing some reviews or contributing there so readers can get your thoughts on some of the things you talked about in the future as well. Follow us on socials. Please do that. We'd love for you to do that and tell us your thoughts about what you're playing, share what you're up to. We're also in Discord with the Out of Sync Gaming Discord community. Come in there and introduce yourselves, start to build some community there. We'd love to get you involved. Do you want to hear Mike and I talk about some of your video game questions? Email us at gamers@outofsyncgaming.co.uk. That's gamers@outofsyncgaming.co.uk. Send us any questions. Doesn't have to be about video games. We'll talk about whatever. Just ask us questions. Get out there.
Yeah.
Mike, thanks for being a co-host. Thanks for coming along this journey with us. You're an absolute fucking star. I've loved every minute of this conversation. I'm looking into so many more. So
thank you.
Thanks for it.
Yeah, great.
Absolutely. I am your host.
We talked a long time, and it's still fine. Like
I know, right?
whatever.
I'm sure the listeners have jumped off after like 20 minutes, but who cares? We're had a good time. We're doing it for ourselves. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Wicked Gamer UK Alan, but you can call me Al. And until next time, remember, just play the games you want. Bye.
Bye.